In this session, we learn in detail the last method of collecting the primary data, that is the questionnaire method. Under this session, we know the introduction of questionnaire method, merits of questionnaire method, demerits of questionnaire method, some of the main aspects of questionnaire method and essentials of a good questionnaire. The learning objective of questionnaire method are to understand the concept of questionnaire method of data collection, to understand advantages and disadvantages of questionnaire method of data collection, and to understand the essentials of a good questionnaire. Session outcomes are like this: theoretical understandings of questionnaire method of data collection. Students are know the merits and demerits of questionnaire method of data collection, and also students are to know the aspects and essentials of a good questionnaire. Let us know introduction of a questionnaire method. Questionnaire method is adopted by private or individuals, research workers, private and public organizations and governments also. In this method, a questionnaire is sent to the persons concerned with a request to answer the questions and return the questionnaire. A questionnaire consists of a number of questions printed or tagged in a definite order on a form. The questionnaire is mailed to the respondents and write down the reply in the space provided in the questionnaire itself. Next, we know the merits of questionnaire method. First one is there are low cost even when the universe is large. Second, they can cover extensive geographical areas. Next, respondents who are not easily approachable can also be reached conveniently. Next one is the respondents can complete the questionnaire at their conveniences. And next, it is free from the bias of interviewers. Answers are respondents' own words. Next, respondents have adequate time to give answer. And last one is certain personal and economic data may be given more accurately. Next, we know the demerits of questionnaire data. First and foremost of the demerit of questionnaire data is low rate of return of the duly filled in questionnaire. Next, it can be used only when respondents are educated and cooperating. Third one is the control over questionnaire may be lost once it is sent. Fourth one is there is inbuilt inflexibility. Next one is there is the possibilities of ambiguous or omission replies. Next, it is difficult to know whether willing respondents are truly representative. And last one is this method is likely to be to the slowest of all. So next, for preparing a questionnaire, we know the three main aspects. Under the three main aspects of questionnaire, first one is the general form. It can be structured or unstructured. That is, the questionnaire can be a structured one or unstructured one. Structured means definite, concrete and predetermined questions. The form of questions may be either closed, that is yes or no type questions, or open questions means inviting free responses. When these characteristics are not present in a questionnaire, it can be termed as unstructured. The interviewer is provided with a general guide on the type of information to be obtained, but the exact question formulation is largely his own responsibility, and the replies are to be taken down in the respondent's own words to the extent possible. Second one is question sequence. The next aspect is question sequence. The question sequence must be clear and smoothly moving. The first few questions are important because they are influence the attitude of the respondent and in seeking his desired cooperation. Following types of questions should be avoided at the beginning. First one is the questions that put too great a strain on the memory of the respondent. Some of the questions, that is questions of a personal character, should be avoided at the beginning. Questions related to personal wealth and question sequence should be go from general to the more specific. And the last one, that is the third aspect of questionnaire, is question formulation and wording. Questions must be very clear, impartial and constructed with a view to their forming a logical part of a well thought out tabulation plan. In general, all questions should meet the following standards. The standards are like this: should be understand, should be simple, that is, should convey only one thought at a time. And thirdly, should be concrete and should conform as much as possible to the respondent's way of thinking. There are two principal form of questions, namely multiple choice question and open-ended question. In the former, the respondent select one of the alternative possible answers put to him, whereas in the later, he has to supply the answer in his own words. Next, if a questionnaire is said to be a questionnaire, it requires certain essentials. So, what are the essentials of a good questionnaire to know? First one is the questionnaire should be comparatively short and simple. Second one is question should proceed in logical sequence, moving from easy to more difficult. And thirdly, personal and intimate questions should be left to the end. Next, technical terms and vague expression capable of different interpretations should be avoided. Next one is questions may be dichotomous, that is yes or no type question, or multiple choice, that is alternative answer, or open-ended questions. Sixth one is the latter type of questions are often difficult to analyze, hence should be avoided. So the next point is some control questions in the questionnaire which indicate the reliability of the respondent. Next one is questions affecting the sentiments of respondents should be avoided. Adequate space for answer should be provided in the questionnaire to help editing and tabulation. Next, 10th one is there should always be provision for indications of uncertainty. For example, do not know, no preference, etc. And 11th one is brief direction with regard to filling up the questionnaire should invariably be given. And lastly, questionnaire should be attractive and quality of the paper must be good. So this is the meaning of questionnaire method and the merits and demerits of questionnaire method and some of the aspects for the preparation of a questionnaire method, and also we learn some of the essentials of a good questionnaire.